Now, if you are Tucker Carlson and you are in desperate need of someone to come in and come on your show and justify your non-apology, you want someone who is a heavy hitter, someone who is going to have some type of gravitas, some type of moral and intellectual authority, so that you can bring on a guest who is going to defend you. You're not going to have to do it yourself. This is the type of guest you need on your show. Someone with gravitas, someone who can be out in front of you so that you don't look like you're trying to be self-serving. Unfortunately for Tucker, none of those people would come on, so he got Dave Rubin.
Dave Rubin hosts the Rubin Report. We don't agree on everything politically, but he is a sincere believer in free speech, so we wanted to talk to him tonight. Dave, thanks very much for coming on.
I am quite curious as to what they disagree with.
Actually, you know what? Tucker might have, for purposes of branding, better and more progressive tax policies than Dave.
That's absolutely true. Now, Tucker might be really against, I don't know, I think he's against choice.
He might have some issues with gay people.
He might. I don't think he would articulate that, Tucker Carlson. He might have it with abortion, but of course Dave is really, really, really reluctantly pro-choice. So reluctantly pro-choice, he's probably going to change soon because of how liberals want to kill born babies and call it abortion. But let's leave that aside. But kudos for Tucker for having to. I mean, this is how desperate Tucker is. I'm so desperate that A, I'm going to book Dave Rubin to defend me, and B, I'm going to play along with Dave Rubin's branding up top because I'm that desperate that I'm afraid Dave Rubin won't come back on.
Coming on. I'm starting to think that a lot of us overestimated the willingness of the Democratic establishment to coexist with people who disagree with them and underestimated the real threat, the actual existential threat to speech that we face now. Do you think that's right?
Well, I wish I could say that this whole situation is shocking, but this is exactly what I've been raising the alarm about on my show for the last 5 or so years. As you know, I come from the left. I was a progressive. I still consider myself a liberal in the best sense of liberalism.
Pause it for 1 second. Pause it for 1 second. Let's see. I wish that we could go back in time and see what Dave Rubin would say about Iraqis.
The Rubin
if they were
dossier.
Semi-literate monkeys, could we please open up the research vault? Thank you.
It's a time machine.
Oh, we're going back? Oh, that's it. That's pretty good. Oh. Well, fortunately, we don't need a time machine because everything on the internet lives forever, ladies and gentlemen. So we have found some old, rediscovered Dave Rubin blog posts. And
this isn't his joke notebook, just to clarify.
This is not his joke notebook.
This is my idea notebook.
And it is stunning how liberal Dave was back then. You will know that it's Dave Rubin because it is not an intellectually rigorous racism that we're looking at. It is super sloppy. Here are some of his anti-Arab jokes in his blog. Israel is pulling out of Gaza today. Why is it that Jews can't live in a place that is run by Arabs, but Arabs can live in Israel, France, Britain, America, and every other country on the planet? Oh, yeah, the Arabs are backwards, fundamentalist wackos. I keep forgetting that.
You would have to... a lot of stand-up doesn't translate well into writing. You got to feel the animal energy in the room.
There is nothing more dangerous than fundamentalist Arabism.
Fundamentalist Arabism's caused a lot of problems. He's so stupid.
So stupid.
You know, we criticize Dave a lot for his complete cravenness and inconsistency, but he's absolutely maintaining being below room temperature moron.
Stupid.
Here is when Dave Rubin has that moment where he's asking God questions, right? The Arabs, Those peace-loving, freedom-loving people are saying they'll kill Jews wherever they are. I thought that the Jews were the chosen people. Chosen for what exactly?
Oh my God.
This is almost as good as Meghan McCain's sick day.
Yep. That was, that was in 05 and 04 and now 06. In American news,
I love this.
What was he talking about? China.
This is
he
him.
was doing a lot of like in-depth international stuff.
This is him trying out for Weekend Update.
Right.
All right.
Oh, totally. But I love. This is like the tenor of these jokes really are for and the peanuts bags are so small in the airplane. It's like the Holocaust. What's the deal with that, huh?
In American news, it looks like we're going to sell some major ports to a company run by the United Arab Emirates. I remember this. Everyone's making a big deal about it, as if giving control to our ports to an Arab country is a problem. But frankly, I think Arabs have earned our respect and trust.
Wait for it.
Where's he going with this?
I'm going to have to retract that sentence. It's a misdirect. It's a misdirect. Just calm down.
Sorry.
You don't know where he's going with it.
You know what? You're totally right. Hold your fire.
It's a master craftsman.
Hold your fire. This is a comedian at work.
I turned on CNN while writing that. And some Arabs just burned down a Chuck E. Cheese's in Pakistan.
They're not Arabs I'm sorry.
Well, no.
Sorry to be that guy, but
yeah.
They're not Arab. Okay.
Yeah. How do you know that some Arabs didn't fly to Pakistan?
What we did was we were flying from the Emirates to ink the port deal, and we did a layover in Karachi to burn down a fucking Chuck E. Cheese.
Hell will freeze over before I have people like that in charge of my ports.
Ooh. To paraphrase the great liberal philosopher John Stuart Mill, hell will freeze over before I have those people control my ports.
Is in charge of my ports a double entendre? Like, what is he? Or does he actually own ports? Or
back then I was a socialist.
Theoretically, if I had a port, I wouldn't let an Arab run it.
Back then I was a socialist, and I thought that we all owned the ports. That's how deluded I was. But then I left the Young Turks.
Is it though that there's some metaphorical special quality to Chuck E. Cheese's? Like, I can't quite make out what part of it is. If you don't have respect for Chuck E. Cheese, you can't touch my metaphorical port.
Exactly.
Well, some people just don't get some jokes, Sam.
I didn't realize
that's what I'm asking.
What Sam Harris explained to me, that I was actually doing thought experiments. I was ahead of the curve.
Well,
you know what's amazing, if I could just give some advice. If he just stopped with that would be a lot funnier. Like, why? Then it would be like an old Borscht Belt style. Like, why? Because what have the Arabs ever done?
It's got to be like it's got to be something like I think the Arabs have earned our respect and trust. Wait, what?
Right. ...
And that's
right.
the way
And then that would be the joke. But instead he actually was like, how am I going to land this? How am I going to land this? Ooh, a Chuck E. Cheese.
Okay,
that brings it home.
Borat's not jokes.
Are we still doing Dave? Okay, let it roll. Let's
yeah, you know why?
Where else did he go?
Good.
I'm really starting to understand why he chose this career path, because the bar is, it's at the appropriate height for somebody of his talents.
Indeed, and he brushes up against it. It's still a challenge, but
I still consider myself a liberal in the best sense of liberalism, classical liberalism, and I believe in the individual and all of that stuff that we've talked about several times. But I want to address a couple things here. First, on the way that you've responded to the attacks by not apologizing. I think that was exactly the right thing to do. All of us have joked. All of us have made mistakes. All of us have a past. Yeah. All of us have done things that we're not proud of, and a series of other things. If you've lived, you've done those things.
Wait a second. Tucker Carlson was not joking. He has a past. Rubin is saying it we're not proud of. Well, that's what you do if you have something that you feel badly about, that you're not proud of, this is what you do when you're called about it and you have to discuss it. I'm sorry.
You're just going to say turn this into a nice contrition segment and we move forward? What's going on?
I regret that I said those things. That's what the point is. But yet he's saying, the way you handled it by not apologizing for that thing that was in your past that you may regret.
That we both are, I guess, going to agree is a mistake.
That you are not saying you regret. So
I'm totally
good for you.
on board with you not apologizing for
In other
things
words,
that were clearly mistakes.
You're so desperate
sorry.
to have me on, and I'm so desperate that I can only get on your show. So both of our disingenuousness is going to meet in the middle and just do a beautiful dance.
I heard that 4 people turned you down, and I actually almost got into a traffic accident speeding over the studio when I was booked at the last minute.
I knew that investing in that lawn chair and waiting out in front would be worth it. And here I am.
I love how that everything he just said there is actually like totally fine and correct, leading to exactly the opposite of the whole premise.
Exactly.
It's like, that's right.
It's something you
everybody
regret.
makes mistakes, and therefore they should apologize and move forward. Right, I agree.
Everybody
Tucker
makes
just had like a
mistakes.
whole like, I'm not going to back down.
Everybody makes mistakes, and I recognize they shouldn't have did certain things. So, like, it should be the right of them to not ever face any sort of accountability
Which
about
is
it.
exactly why you built your whole segment on not taking any responsibility for anything you just said. I agree.
I mean, did Tucker even admit that he made a mistake? Because
No, that's the
the
point.
whole point.
Right, because it seems like the things that he said are completely congruous with the things that he says now.
Right.
They're just more vulgar.
Exactly.
So, like, I don't know if anyone out there thinks that, like, oh, this now impugns on the good name of Fox News, hence he should be fired. I think the Fox News viewers are eating it up.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, he doesn't have to apologize, so why would he?
Dave Rubin is too stupid at any speed.
Now, look. Tucker was in trouble. He went to Dave Rubin because nobody else would come on his show to defend him. However, if you're Tucker Carlson, you strike out and you end up with Dave Rubin, who contradicts really everything that the whole point of the segment by saying that it's something you regret.
You know that
Tucker,
Tom
and
Petty
you
song,
should-
Won't Back Down? That's all about when you make a mistake, and everybody makes mistakes, but then you won't back down.
And you call
But
Peck-
Tucker has a safety valve. And what is that safety valve? If you can't get a guest to come on your show, then you go to a coworker to pretend like everything is just hunky-dory.
Live tonight in the 9 p.m. hour, Sean Hannity.
All right, I got to give you a compliment. So Tucker was going to be off this week. No, Tucker, he was going to be off this week. Becomes a busy news week, and he's not going to take the mob's crap. And he came into work, to stand up to this, and I want the great viewers of this channel to know that.
Well, I thank you, Sean, and you've helped me every bit of the way. I have to
God,
say.
hold on,
We've been
pause
talking-
it for 1 second.
Totally
So wait a
unprompted.
second. If I understand what Sean was saying is that you had your vacation scheduled, but it was a busy news week, so you came in, busy news week, but you came in and to say, take this, mob. I'm not going to stay on my vacation, and I'm going to stay on the channel because of the busy news week. And then Tucker was like, "Oh, this is totally impromptu." Why, thank you, Sean.
Well, I thank you, Sean, and you've helped me every bit of the way. I have to say, we've been talking every day.
Yeah,
and
I'm an
sick of it.
expert
I'm
at this. They've
absolutely
been
sick
trying
of
to
it.
kill me for 23
Yeah,
years.
you
I
are an expert
I
at
kind of
it.
get
That's
it.
true.
I'm like trying to help. I'm like, you.
Pause it.
Laura-
You know, I have been saying really racist stuff and inappropriate stuff for years and years, and they've been trying to get me off. But fortunately, I was safely behind Rush on radio, and but good.
I'm like trying to help. I'm like, you, Laura, you, me, Laura, you. It's like never stops. But anyway, always great to see you and have a
Thanks,
great
Sean.
rest
Great
of
to see you.
vacation that you were supposed to have. All right.
Right. Have that vacation now because there's no news now. There's no news now.
Glad you still
Totally
do that.
impromptu.
And of course, before he went off onto vacation, Tucker Carlson had to get, was a little bit upset. Again, he couldn't get anybody on to defend him. So he went on the attack against the media reporters.
Others who are trying to hurt you. That's the message from Fox. I think all of this matters It's about decency and standards. It's about the corrosive, ugly, nasty behavior that sometimes happens on cable news or off cable news involving some of these hosts.
It's about decency, cries the eunuch. We must have decency. By which the eunuch means less disobeying, more obedience. Stop criticizing the program, or else. This is the face of state media. Why does Fox even exist, they wonder? We've got 11 other perfectly good
Calls him a eunuch?
See, I don't know. This is where the liberal media kind of fails in their response because, like, he's going after his vulgarity, it seems, but, like, would he be okay with Tucker Carlson and Fox News existing if they were saying the same things without such vulgar language? That's kind of the implication.
Right, as opposed to, well, that's the thing, is that, yes, and that is why, like, there is no doubt that these entities, and people forget, a dozen years ago, when Fox was just as odious, if not more so, you had other press outlets defending them as real journalists. And I got news for you, folks. They weren't any more real journalists 10 years ago than they are today. And Bill O'Reilly, in his fake awards that he won, and I mean, just going back through the years, the War on Christmas, which was 90% of their programming at that time, they were no more real news than they are today. Maybe less so. But other journalist outlets protected them. And so the bar is extremely high for other cable television news to recognize just how horrible they are. So they have to go to it's the lack of decorum, not so much the constant stream of lies that is pumped out. I mean, that's the sad thing about that. But